Preparing meeting. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot this is gonna be live.
It's gonna be live, so if anyone wants to chime in, they can for this epic, We are almost there.
I'm pretty sure that fan art's pretty damn close for Gotham Knights.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Marvel Alliance podcast, where we cover anything and everything to do with the Marvel Universe. From the comics, TV, and movies, we go from the Mojoverse to Earth 616 to the Negative Zone to bring you the Marvel Universe right to you. My name is the Uncanny Chris.
I'm the podcaster, Mr. Strauss now.
I am the Quicksilver Taylor Field.
Alliance assemble.
Wait a second here. That you just put a Marvel's character's name in front of your name as a nickname.
Oh yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm in the middle of our first week back with students virtually, so it's 2 days down, 178 more to go.
Oh boy, Taylor, how are you doing today?
Good. It's like breaking heat records in the Okanagan right now, so it's brutal, but I'm here.
I have this mid-cast. If you see me wiping away, there's one. I recorded a podcast with Greg the other day, and literally the back of my tank top was like soaked because once that door closes, and for an inside scoop, me and Chris a few episodes ago had these massive recordings problems, and it's because this AC unit was taking down my entire Wi-Fi system in this room. So all I have is this fan. I don't have the AC anymore. So. But Chris, we're doing well. I guess we can plug what's on the network. So as usual, now this is our second week in Wednesday. So thank you, and thank you everyone that followed. Like we got the same amount of people, if not a little more. So thank you for sticking with us because we know early on it's a shift, but it's worked out for us and it's worked out for all of you. So we thank you, everybody that sticked along. Mondays, as usual, now you have World's Finest True Believer. Chris, what did you cover this Monday? And then I guess you can even talk about what's coming up next Monday because they're kind of part A, part B.
Yeah, we dropped a retro episode with our good buddy Travis Hines from right before COVID, the network, everything. We did a look back at Injustice Year 1, and next week, not to be too obvious, but we did Injustice Year 2. So we did a nice 1-2 punch, and we will continue. That's what Travis has put his hat on. We will go through the entirety of the Injustice franchise.
And then Tuesday we have DC Alliance. They just dropped their episode. It's so weird because usually I'm talking about what is coming up, but it's in the past. But they gave me enough room to come guest on there. I was very happy to do that because I had been itching to get on there. My last week was so busy, didn't do anything with Geekverse. I was like, oh, if you guys have room, so we did that. It was their longest episode. Travis Hines maybe starting a rivalry with Brent, so that's all good. But big preview, and that'll lead into just for obviously there's other shows coming up, but Saturday is it's August 22nd. We're gonna be starting. I think it's I can't remember the time zones. I know it's 10:30 PST for us, and then
1 o'clock or
yeah.
I think the first one's at 1 o'clock Eastern.
See, that's the best thing you do is go follow the Geek All Alliance Twitter because it has the entire schedule there. Even myself, the start time, I'll go look. But Chris is going to be on there. Taylor's going to be on there. Greg, the other Travis, Katie, Lisa from the movies. Nathan's going to hopefully make an appearance. Kirklin. So we got over 10 people, maybe Sarah Taylor from Super Civil Servants. So we got tons of stuff. Thursday is Star Wars Alliance. I think they're focusing on Ventress, but they're tackling news mostly. So that's gonna be exciting because there's some Kylo Ren show rumors going around, and that gets my blood boiling. So I'll be tuning in for that. And then Friday,
does it involve a kiss of gratitude?
Hashtag canon
Many
doesn't matter.
Of gratitude.
Right, Taylor? Right, Taylor? Canon doesn't matter.
I don't know. No, talk to me when you get evidence.
Friday is superhero discussions. As usual, they're covering Superman, but then also Friday is going to be dropping the DC animated kind of look back retrospective in mortem because it was you, Chris, Greg, and Travis a few months ago. You put this early on Patreon, but we're going to drop it because obviously Man of Tomorrow is coming out, so we're going to drop it for the regular feed. And as usual, thank you to all the patrons that support us. Got some great questions this week for DC Alliance. $1 tiers just to support us, get some questions there. $5 you get stuff early and ad free, and then the $10 exclusive commentary or exclusive whatever we do, and then sometimes video versions as well. So I think that's everything, Chris. Am I missing anything?
No, I think that we've got some new shows getting ready to join the network. I
Mhm.
think you plugged one on. We got Super Civil Servants coming on pretty
It's
soon. We've
official.
got,
Yeah, first week in September.
and then right before that, I think we've got the Weird Science, both DC and Marvel joining us. So
Yeah, after the week after DC fandom. So yeah, we got tons of stuff. The network keeps growing, so it's exciting times. But today, if you've watched our Twitter, if you noticed, we're doing something a little bit different because usually we do news, and Chris did have some news, but it was kind of like one New Mutants is coming up, and I was like, there's not too much like the huge news, but this started a few weeks ago because Chris had offhand mentioned that he had never seen Dark Phoenix, and I know Taylor Phil has also not seen Dark Phoenix, so I was like, we gotta do this before New Mutants, so that's what we're doing today. So Chris,
I'm like the meme, like, do we really? Do we really? I mean, again, you know me. I've said it over and over. I'm a huge X-Men fan. I love it. I know enough about this movie. It's just been one of those things that it's been blasted so much. I own the movie. I've still yet to see it until now. But it's one of those things like, do I really want to end this on a sour note? But again, I said on Twitter, I'm also not a basher as much as some people are of Apocalypse, though it does have many faults. Wow, I sound like Greg defending Green Lantern.
Yeah. Lots of people on the feed came after you, like, oh man, good luck. They did make it sound like it was one of the worst movies of all time. And someone, as the only person that's seen on this panel, I do not think it's one of the worst comic book movies.
I agree.
But Taylor, I know, so Chris, this may surprise, but Taylor is not a big, you're not a big X-Men fan. Taylor, is that the reason why you've avoided Dark Phoenix? Why have you avoided Dark Phoenix?
Oh, well, I was gonna go see it in the theater, but just I don't know. I just never ended up getting around to it, and it's not as urgent as Marvel is. They don't have an end game to pull me in.
Even though they tried to make this an end game like, and
is that what this is?
Kind of. It's their finale, right?
That's their finale. But I mean, you look at X-Men canon itself, like the Dark Phoenix saga is like probably one of the pinnacles, like of the Claremont era of what that had built towards. And I already had my problems going into it in the sense of when they said that this was going to be the story. I was like, I don't think we built enough to get to this point. So,
well, should we? Because I know we'll talk a bit throughout, but yeah, should we start this and get going?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna watch along, but if anyone wants to, I'll give the 3, 2, 1, and then we'll hit play. We're starting right at the 6-0. So 3, 2, 1. So here we go.
20th Century Fox.
Now Century, what is it now? Just Century or Century Studios?
Or 20th Century owned by Disney.
Yeah. This is I guess technically when they put it out, it was a Disney movie, right? Technically when it came out.
I think was that before? Oh, nice thing on the X there, subtle.
I did like a few X-Men ago when they did the X-Men theme done for the Fox fanfare, so I liked that. Okay, so we got this going on. And Taylor, I can't remember. Did you enjoy Apocalypse? Where were you on Apocalypse?
I liked First Class. I liked Apocalypse. I liked Apocalypse. What were the other ones that came out?
Days of Future Past. Yeah, that was the one right before Apocalypse.
Right. That one was pretty cool too. I enjoyed that one as well. I think that's all of them, right? There's just like 4. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more. I guess in this saga. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you ever answered me, Tiff, if you liked Apocalypse or not.
No, I do.
Okay, you do. Yeah. 1975. So here we are. Young Jean Grey. But I feel like I just recently saw in something else too. So.
Oh, an origin story.
Well, you have to because they just introduced us to Jean Grey in the very last movie.
I know, yeah.
we've had no time to really get to know her. So
yeah, like I said, we bring out the biggest story that she's known for in movie 2.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. Look up. I think it was Eric, Legendary Beard Geek, check out his podcast, but he had brought up kind of what you were alluding to at the beginning of was it earned or not. And I feel like that was kind of everyone's feeling beforehand and even after the movie that it was too soon, even I wouldn't think the original X-Men trilogy was too soon, but even then you could have done more than 3 movies to get to it. But this just being, you introduce her and she's not even a character. Oh, there goes the parents, Shazam style. Very, very similar to
Shazam style. Well, the parents lived in Shazam.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's just like that kid freaking out, and then there's the accident, right? But
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just on again, not seeing it, it didn't. I think Sophie Turner would have been a great Jean Grey. I mean, I thought her casting was spot on to take on the role of Jean, but I think I think it was Clayton that said in there about the Skrulls were originally supposed to be a part of this, but then they were in Captain Marvel and they had to do a about face on what they were trying to do.
Yeah, like that's the funny thing. And there's rumors too, like the last act of this movie being very, very similar to Captain Marvel's, and it was supposed to take place all in space, so they had to reshoot a bunch of it and change it. And we'll see when we get to the last act for you guys. I think anticlimactic is maybe one word to use, but so yeah, we just had the part at the hospital, and then parents not looking so great. So then we got McAvoy rocking a really massive wig in these flashbacks.
Oh, they love the wigs in Hollywood.
In Hollywood, yeah, I guess so. But like, some of them can be a bit more egregious than other ones, So,
Is that the same wig from Tomb Raider, Travis?
Maybe. If everyone who's not seen Tomb Raider, watch that. There is a dastardly wig in that one that really stands out. That just you need a better team on there, but. But yeah, and it's just so funny that this, it's so funny the time of this movie, how much has changed about it from when it released. Like we were talking about what was going to be originally planned, and even when it came out as it being hailed as like the final X-Men movie. And I know New Mutants is not in this line of films, but it is kind of a more of a cap off now because it's the last of that Fox generation. But yeah, it's. I honestly, I wish that we did have some better send-offs and whatnot, but it's at the end of the day, it's another movie. There's some good stuff in here. I guess I didn't even say, because I've seen the movie. I'm not a big fan of this movie. This is, I think, only my third time rewatching it. I did watch it one other time when it came to Crave, which is our like HBO Max in Canada, and I enjoyed it enough, but maybe got a little bored with it near the end. But
I forget who directed this.
Simon Kingberg. It was his first movie.
Oh yeah, and he's the one who ended up spoiling a big part of this movie too.
Yes, he in an interview gives away a certain death. So
that's how much he really respected his own movie.
Yeah. Well, that was one of my biggest hangups, that a first-time director getting such a big crack. Because I know he had done many things before. Hey Taylor, your audio is a little loud, but. He'd done some cracks at it, or not. He hasn't directed, but he has written many things before. He's written for Star Wars. He's written for Marvel, obviously. But it's just the fact that for such a big movie to give to even someone that's been in Hollywood for so long, those were always my two signs that we already just talked about right at the beginning of this, was the whole like early Jean Grey being too early to do Dark Phoenix, and then having Simon Kingberg just come in there and get a big film. I know there is Hollywood precedent for that to happen sometimes, but I thought it was a little risky and maybe didn't pay off.
Okay. Why not? It's too nice.
That's a great thing. I'd go run into that house right now and just break whatever at that point. I'll call your bluff there, Charles.
Yeah, so we're at the part where he's taking her out of the hospital. I really liked that conversation with the pen. I like that. Felt like some real Charles Xavier wisdom going on. So,
and I think he did a good his own kind of stamp on what Patrick Stewart had done. I was not unhappy with at least his role in this series.
Yeah, I think that's been one thing. Like, I know some people bring up the Jennifer Lawrence thing, but other than that, I feel like majority of the casting's really good. That was never the problem of these guys or these films. I always thought, okay, they have like obviously Fassbender's great and McAvoy's great, but even people like Nicholas Holt's Beast, I really liked him. I don't know if I liked him as much as Kelsey Grammer, but yeah, I liked McAvoy because all the way back to First Class, for the majority of this franchise, they let to have him give his own spin on it, right? Because it was, he is doing Patrick's. It's an odd time because if you look at First Class and you look at the behind the scenes of that, the director Matthew Vaughn visioned it as more as a reboot, where the studio visioned it as more as a prequel. So that's why a lot of the things don't line up. They fix them later on, but
we all know with X-Men sometimes continuity can be a little shaky sometimes.
Oh yeah, just a tad, but that's why I think obviously he was younger, but that's why with that X-Men and First Class, if the director envisioned it to be a reboot, it's kind of like, oh, we can take Charles in a different direction, make him kind of a party animal at times, a bit less, I'd say, not intelligent is the word, but like wisdom filled, he doesn't have all those words of wisdom yet. He has to build up to that. I really like that chair. I like the blue X on the back too.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is Charles.
I always thought that was cool. The ability to change back and forth.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm sorry. This is a complaint I know. I'm gonna agree with people. Where are the darn costumes that we got at the last one? Come on.
It's been 10 years, Chris. That's why they changed,
I did like Morrison's run on it, but I mean, this is the 90s. This is the height of like X-Men in full costumes.
Yeah, and they tease that. Taylor, how do you feel about these costumes?
Well, they're not as good as the other ones. I feel like
prefer the leather.
I think so. I feel like they're part of like the USS Enterprise wearing these things.
I think it makes sense because it's practical. But one thing that happens in comic books, like the zipper for me is a little distracting for no reason. Just like it's a big thing down the X. In comic books, that's gonna be smooth, right? Yeah, the zipper. Well, it just in case there's a nice clean, clear X, and then there's a zipper down the middle. Where in comic books that doesn't happen because they're not looking for like how they actually get into this, and why not for like. So I know it's a little thing.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on like of everything you pick on there is the zipper.
No. There's a lot to pick on there, but like for just a minor thing, like why not put the zipper in the back? Where we can't see it. It's like it's an easy fix. That's all you have to do. But here we are, and the zipper's in the front. So. So yeah, we're at the part right now where there was a space mission. Things were not going well. So the president kind of like, I don't know, Batman 66 style has like Jim Gordon's phone call to Batman. It's kind of like that. He has it right in his office. And they're sending the X-Men up to do some mission. And I remember too, same thing, all the talk before, people were like, oh man, X-Men are going to space. We're going to get some good stuff. And it didn't go that way exactly. So.
Oh, okay. This is cool. Everyone's just okay with this going on in NASA.
Oh yeah. They're helpless.
This is a beat.
Yeah.
We believe the heat shorted up their electricity.
This stuff just happens usually.
We wouldn't know though, right? This stuff could be happening. We have no idea. So
by the reaction, this is not doesn't seem like the first time, even though he says, calm down. I'm just Charles Xavier. Oh, thank God.
You're not one of the bad ones.
Watch that hand there, Slim.
Yeah, really good cast. Like seeing them all put together. It's just again, even for the relationship. So not even Jean, knowing Jean as a character, even the relationship of Scott and Jean, they weren't even officially together in the last movie. So we've missed 10 years of them completely bonding. So
there's only so much headcanon I can do these days.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you feel about Mystique being the quote unquote Wolverine of this First Class franchise?
Taylor, what do you feel?
I actually kind of like that because I mean I've only ever known her as a villain and like from the original other X-Men films, so it was very cool to get this different kind of take. I do miss Wolverine in these movies, but if you put him in, then he steals the spotlight. He's the center of
Mhm.
attention, just like Days of Future Past, right? So
Yeah. And I did like that she toyed with the villainous side, so they didn't necessarily ignore it.
yeah.
But it was an interesting take, and then that she's quote unquote Charles's quote unquote sister. It was an interesting take. And Ravens, even in the comics, has done a good job of playing both sides.
Mhm.
So
I think I liked it for the first two, and then I feel like with Apocalypse, they just kind of didn't know exactly what to do with her because they had turned her good at the end of the last movie. So they're like, okay, what do we do? And then I feel this movie, there's a few characters they don't know what to do with, and she is one. So I know it is a fun like big narrative. Oh wow, there's Quicksilver getting a scene just tossing those astronauts. Those guys are gonna be throwing up for sure. I actually don't think she phones it in on this movie. The reason is just because I think she has a little screen time. I think in Apocalypse she was much more kind of didn't care. I'm not saying by any means it is a home run great performance or anything, but it's just there's a few scenes where you go, okay, I feel like she's trying a bit more. But I think with the narrative fit for X-Men and for First Class and Days of Future Past for her to have that size of a role, but it feels like Days of Future Past is not the end of her arc, but it's the end of that story that they started in First Class, right? Of her being maybe choosing the villain side, turning against Xavier, and then once that she turns like kind of picks the good side, I feel like that story's kind of done, right? She can be on the team. That's what's great about X-Men comic books is usually in a comic book you would have that, and then the next arc might focus on another character, right? It'll be their story for a little bit. And that was a good thing with the ensemble that felt like obviously Wolverine usually gets a lot of screen time or comic book time, but it would be like, okay, this is about Scott and Emma Frost, this is about Jean Grey, this is about Storm, this is about their conflict, their mission. But in these movies, it did kind of come back to her one too many times. And even they do that, I think, with Eric Magneto, where they need to be in there, but I think they one too many times went with the we're friends and then something happens and we're opposed. In Apocalypse, same thing. I was fine with that because I felt like, okay, it ended with him showing he's on the good side. And, as you've probably seen from trailers that, maybe they have another dispute in this movie, which I didn't think was not needed. But
no.
because I love that relationship. I love when they get to work together, to be honest, because it is that, like, even if Eric is like on the good side, it's kind of that villain hero dynamic. And you always kind of know, oh, is he going to go too far? Where if they're just opposed, with Jean Grey just getting I guess what we would call the Phoenix Force in this movie. So
was this guy like still trying to repair the ship with his little like blowtorch thing? It looked like he was like working on the ship.
He was like, I don't need no. He still hates the mutants. He's like, I don't need no X-Men to save me. Do we think Nightcrawler is that helmet with the tape? Do we think that's a feasible option?
Sure, we'll go with maybe. It's comics.
That's true.
So Jean Grey and this like Dark Phoenix Force, the two go hand in hand. Is that how that works?
What Claremont did in his series when he premiered Phoenix at that point, with big spoiler if you not going to read the comics anytime soon, like they went on a mission. The Phoenix Force took over Jean. What they thought was Jean wasn't Jean. It was the Phoenix inhabiting they basically duplicated her body, the Phoenix Force, because later on Jean came back, but they found out that she was cocooned at that point. So, again, comics.
Yeah, no, just hearing you say cocooned, it's just like in their world, it's just like a regular day thing, but
yeah, eventually, she turned up, and that was the whole big thing, when, in the comics, Jean bites it at that point. It wasn't Jean, it was the Phoenix at that point, but no one knew that until she eventually came back. So, but Jean Grey actually, there was a long time too after Morrison's run that she stayed dead. Like that was probably one of the longest running characters that they kept her dead for a while, and not just like a couple of years.
So if that was anyone else in this scenario, it would have been like, if it was like Quicksilver out there, Phoenix Force would have like cloned him and absorbed him, or
I don't see. That's where I think it's probably no information. Like maybe, but I guess it depends on runs, because sometimes I feel like some certain runs, maybe not the original one, has made it seem like, okay, because Jean Grey's so powerful, she could kind of, harness this and whatnot. But then you're right, there are like even looks like the next Avengers run, it looks like there's the Phoenix going around, maybe trying to find a duplicate of its own. So it's like, in that original run, I guess, was it just because it was Jean, or did it have anything to do with her powers? Because I've read it before, but it's been a long time.
It's been a while for me too, but
Yeah.
it's because of her powers, because of she like through Jean, she could feel these emotions that she's never felt before.
Yeah.
And her power, because she is an Omega level mutant. Her power is basically
tier.
next to Charles.
Yeah.
If not more powerful.
We'll be talking about there's a list that was put out when we get to Hogspox. We could talk a little bit about that, because they had to profile the strongest mutants. So again, I don't know why she needs to like, I know, so here comes the Jennifer Lawrence jokes of like, oh, the makeup, blah, blah, but I'm just saying, like, if we're having fun and we're watching this as a movie, I don't know why she turns back to Raven. I have like, there's no reason. And I would understand if she turned to Raven and then her entire clothes changed. She was like, okay, cool, outfit change, but it's not. She's just still in the suit, and that's the thing that it does get annoying when it's like when you can't make even like it's a little thing, but even just movie sense, it's like why are we doing this? But
well, I mean, I think Eric said it best in First Class. Is just like when she was turning back and forth, and he said, "You look beautiful when she's as Mystique, when she as Raven." That's what he considers beautiful, and that's one of the biggest things that I think. More than Stan Lee, I think Claremont really got right in the franchise, was really bringing in this idea of the mutants as a synonymous with, the civil rights movement and the fight for African Americans. I know Stan Lee was really tried to put that in, but I think Claremont did a stronger job with it.
Yeah. I really like that chair. Taylor, we should get like honestly, not like no, I'm not even making a joke, like not the wheelchair, but like we should get that, but with like the Geekverse logo on these chairs in the studio, like with the G and then light up. How much do you think that costs?
Well, we could go on Amazon and get those strip lights for like $12 for a pack and like put it in like a G.
How many more wall outlets am I gonna need for that if we have?
They're all battery packs.
They're all battery powered. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, you all deserve it. You hit a million downloads. Come on.
Yeah. That's our victory prize is strip lights. I do have a pack of wall lights coming for the studio though, but they're untested because my fiance says they will make the room green with the lights being on. I say, I don't think that's true. So we're going to test it out because we can't podcast in the dark. Maybe we can. Maybe that'll be our new gimmick, but.
Oh, burn.
Yeah. That was kind of a, I won't say controversial line, but a line that was brought up quite a bit after the movie. The whole, you may as well call it X-Men or X-Women. It's X-Men because the women are saving all the men around here. It's like, yeah, like I guess like I know what they're going for. I think it's just the execution of it. I think it's also strange because you just had a scene where Quicksilver saved a bunch of people. So it didn't really like correlate. Like this is when you should have had her and Jean save everybody, and that's fine. So if you want to make that statement, that's fine. But then make the scene before it like to that statement, and then two, it's just like again, that's why. And some people have brought it. Maybe I'll ask you this, Chris, because me and Taylor talked about a while back ago, but like people have talked about, are they going to use the word X-Men because it's just the word men? And to me, it's always been men. Just talks about humankind, mankind. But do you think there's any validity to some people saying they might just call X-Men mutants and stuff like the movie actually mutants or something like that?
No, they know how powerful a brand the X-Men are. I mean, it's a brand. It's iconic. You see the bat symbol, you see the Superman, you see that the symbols, and that's what it means. X-Men, people know they already get the images in their head of their favorite X-Men or what they've seen in the cartoon. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I'd be very disappointed if it does. I mean, I'll obviously still go see it, but
no, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm boycotting the movie. Boycott mutants.
Yeah, because I'm totally like that. But no, it's a brand. They know it. Again, it's Disney. It's Feige. They know how to market. You can't market without like, oh, they're mutants. Oh, you're talking about the X-Men. No, I'm talking about mutants. They're the X-Men.
Yeah.
No, it's just.
Same thing with Ty Sheridan. Like with him, it sucks because I can't even say if he was a good Cyclops or not a good Cyclops. Because I feel like with Jean, in this movie. I really like her in this movie. I liked her enough in the last movie, but this one I actually do really like her. But that's kind of like she's the main character. She gets a lot of screen time, and I think she's a good actress. With him, he is in this movie a lot, but I feel like as you'll see, there's like lots of things that take away from him. So it's just same thing. I never got a good gauge of like if he was, which sucks. He's been in like like 2 movies, I guess technically, but it's like I can't even tell you if he's good or bad. He's just kind of there as Scott. So
Who was the God, his name escapes me. The one who played Cyclops in
James Marsden.
There we go. There's another one. See, Cyclops doesn't get enough love in both franchises.
Mm-hmm.
And as our friend Brent would say, Cyclops was right, and he is.
He was right.
Yep.
There's a lot of good food looking on that table right now.
Yeah. Dog's dead. We already know it. It's like a horror movie getting ready to happen.
Do they kill dogs anymore? I don't think they still do that, do they?
Not on screen.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still PG-13, yeah, but whoever this, because I actually don't think we get any explanation of who this woman is, but whoever she is, very successful. This house is beautiful, and look at the amount of land she owns. That is impressive.
Ooh. Okay, seriously, why are you walking towards it? This is like, again, horror movie 101.
Especially if the dog's losing the mind, you kind of turn around, right?
Hello.
She's a famous actress, isn't she? What's her name?
Jessica Chastain. She played Beverly in the It movie. She was in Interstellar.
They tried to do the scrolls. Oh, they tried.
So these are not Skrulls?
They are not Skrulls.
They're not. They were supposed to be, and then Disney had Disney didn't make them change it, but there was some reason why it was changed, and maybe it was just Fox being like, "Hey, they are doing Skrulls and Captain Marvel. We have to change it," because Skrulls are kind of one of those characters like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, where they're owned, I think, in similar ways, because there's like weird licensing of like, well, they debuted here, but they're no more known as a Fantastic Four, or vice versa. So it's like it's iffy territory. So technically, they could have used them, and that I think was the plan. That's been on record that the plan was Skrulls, but. Got some Dazzler action going on here. I hope we get to see more of her one day.
Now that's a costume. That's a comic accurate costume. Needs to be a little more blue, but pretty darn close.
Taylor, how would you feel if your superpowers were singing? And like the singing can like trance people and whatnot, but how would you feel about that?
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I'd be a billionaire.
That's true. Yeah, you're looking at it right. I just mean like you look at all these other mutants. So I guess it's a 50-50, right? Because some people might have cool powers, but then some people you got Rogue who can't touch anybody, so it's kind of a nuisance. So like I guess it's not a bad one to have.
No, I mean I'd be a hit for regular humans, and I'd be a hit amongst mutants. So I mean,
I saw a funny cartoon meme saying talking about COVID, saying, "Oh my gosh, I haven't touched anyone, haven't gone on a date with them, haven't kissed anyone in 3 months," and there's Rogue looking at her.
Because Chris, you're the bigger comics guy than me. Do you know any is there any run that's like a huge Dazzler run? Did she ever have her moment as because not every character, but so many characters usually have in this year or this run, they really got to shine here. I've never heard anyone say that with Dazzler, and it might have happened because X-Men have been around for a long time, but if not, I want that to happen. It's the same way Squirrel Girl eventually got some of her really popular runs, let's get Dazzler in there,
I like it. We compared Dazzler and Squirrel Girl.
Well, I feel don't you feel like at one point Squirrel Girl was just not, I won't say bottom of the totem pole, but she was kind of almost like a joke character, right? Like Squirrel Girl, this is kind of I'd say Dazzler is in that category as she's a mutant that sings. It's okay, that's a little on the very comic booky side, but then Squirrel Girl became this awesome character and she started interacting with other characters. I don't know. I just feel like there was a point where Squirrel Girl evolved.
Oh, you're right. I mean, it became kind of the cult favorite that everyone who wanted to be cool said, "Oh yeah, Squirrel Girl."
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing against the character. It's just not on my top list. I mean, Dazzler, I know Claremont used her a bunch of times. I just don't think she's ever risen to a level, but she's been that mutant that's always been there.
Yeah.
So yeah, what definitely during the 80s at that point had some runs, but nothing sticks out of my mind as a this is the epitome of the Dazzler run. Oh, what are the kids calling you?
in the dark.
Roll credits.
Yeah, they're sneaking away somewhere.
I will say I am actually very happy that the Skrulls were swiped by Marvel Disney.
Why is that, sir? Because
I
Taylor,
just
go ahead.
I
You
like
go,
the-
Taylor, and then I'll explain what my reasoning for this question.
Well, I feel like, they do, Marvel's Disney does a lot of things right. And I feel like, the more that they can kind of like absorb into their collective library of assets at their disposal is good, because then they can, deploy their assets and use all these
Deploy. You
different
make
things.
them sound like they're a criminal organization.
Well, they would have done so much, like all this kerfuffle with Spider-Man, for example. There's so much issue
that's what I was
going on
gonna bring
there.
up, Chris. The way that I like, so I'm like against like the Sony deal now, but like I'm like, oh, I get it. Taylor like vehemently hates like that Sony is like anytime like he was actually mad when he saw Michael Keaton in the Morbius trailer, because he felt like they're just like using the MCU to like butter people in to come watch their movies and whatnot. So
Well, hate to say it, but it was Marvel's fault for selling all that stuff off when they were near bankruptcy.
yeah. Maybe they'll sell him Dazzler next time, and then hey, Sony tried to make an Aunt May movie. They'd be like, sure.
They're trying to make a freaking, what is it, jackpot
Madam
movie.
Web too.
I'd sooner see a Madam Web movie than a jackpot movie. Come on.
Of course, but so yeah. Now, if people are watching
give
along,
me the Clone Saga. I will see 80 films based on the Clone Saga before I see a jackpot movie.
So if anyone in the podcast versions watched along, we just had the moment where Jean Grey and Scott, they were at the Dazzler, kind of teen get together. She's having a massive headache, and then boom, just explode. Which I've never had a migraine, but that seems like a realistic, version. Some people when they get migraines,
The equivalent.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's debilitating. The last 5 years, I've had probably 2 or 3 real bad ones.
Mm-hmm. One thing that's never changed, the look of Cerebro. Like obviously the mansion stayed pretty similar, but they've rocked that same look of X1 since this. So
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
that's true.
I mean, how many different variants of Cerebro can you do? It's just a platform with CGI around it, essentially.
Just wait.
Well, shoot, now it's portable.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. No, I guess you're right. There's only so much you can do with it. So same thing. I like that helmet. I like the aesthetic. His helmet and chair, you know what they're giving me? They're giving me PS5 vibes. I know the PS5 doesn't have that exact color blue, but that's what it's giving me. That sleek, white.
You know what that
gray.
X is for? It's for Xbox. It's the back of the chair.
Yeah. Xavier's an Xbox guy.
Oh yeah.
No, Xavier's a PC guy. You know it.
Oh yeah, he is PC.
He's building that machine. He's from the Cerebro. He's playing his games on Cerebro. Like, don't worry, I'm trying to find the mutants.
Oh, for crying out loud, he can live his real life strategy game at that point.
Yeah.
Just take over a mind.
Oh yeah. Man, Xavier, he's still the esports champion. It's crazy how he just beats these people all the time. He's never played Fall Guys before. And then this is the moment where we're learning that Xavier, and this was the other problems. Okay, so this was, and I mentioned this in our original review that I did with Kirklin, and didn't go back on Geekverse 2. We did a whole retrospective of the previous X-Men movies. My problems were, so I didn't feel we were ready for Dark Phoenix. That's one. 2, wasn't a fan of the first time director getting this big budget thing, but you never know, but still on the impression that this could be a red flag. And 3 was that very first trailer we got of Dark Phoenix, not 100%, but it looked so similar to X3 that I just thought they are literally just remaking that version. I thought that, when we get Dark Phoenix, hopefully it's a new version. Maybe if it's bad, that sucks obviously, but at least it's something new. But it's like in Dark Phoenix, the X3 version, that's the same thing that Xavier did. He put up a bunch of barriers, made her block out a bunch of stuff from her childhood, made her forget, and then she finds that out. And obviously we didn't have the thing of them going up to space and everything like that, but it just is so similar. Like, why would you do that beat again? And it's almost identical. It's him blocking things for her mind. So, and they do that a few times in this movie where there's some shots that are almost like it's almost like Force Awakens with New Hope, but to me, with New Hope and Force Awakens, that made a bit more sense, being 30 plus years, and it was kind of like a soft reboot in a way where this is supposed to be a prequel sequel. So that was another reason I was not a big fan of this movie on going into it, because it just looked like they were remaking what they had already done, which I don't know, seems like a little bit of waste of money.
Well, it does feel like we have a trilogy. We have to end it, or this one was the fourth movie, but we have to end it with Dark Phoenix. So I was like, again, there are so many more options in the X-Men legacy of storylines, things they could go. And yeah, Dark Phoenix is one of the top, if not the top, I could argue. But you have to build towards it. And again, we keep saying it, they didn't build enough with Jean's character in this, from just coming out from one movie to us to really buy it.
Well, and I feel like too, like you're talking about the trilogy, you got to end with something big. They kind of did that with Apocalypse, right? Yeah. And then I almost feel like they were like, okay, what do we do after that? Then like, well, Dark Phoenix is big, so we can do that again. We have Jean Grey, we have the players, but it's like you have the ingredients there, but it's like if you look at many, like I could have the ingredients to make lasagna, right? But if I put it in the oven for 10 minutes instead of the full hour, it's not going to be ready to go. Taylor, Chris isn't used to my food analogies.
So free time with food.
It's normal. You'll get used to it.
Oh, I've gotten used to it. It's just, I'm always wondering, okay, what's he going to do this time with food?
But you can see, if you watch the watch along, you can just see Taylor's face where it's just like playing of like, oh, here he goes, where Chris is just like, oh my goodness, another food. But it works the same thing. I make lasagna. If I put it for 10 minutes, it's not ready, but you put it for the full hour, it's good to go. And that's what this Dark Phoenix was. They had the ingredients, but they only put it in for 10 to 15 minutes. That's not going to be a good lasagna. Like, unless you like really hard noodles and like half melted cheese. I love melted cheese, but that's not the route I want to go.
For me, as like an X-Men, like the fan that I am of X-Men, which is like low
mid-tier,
it's not high, but for me, I remember when I was seeing Days of Future Past, that end credits scene, I actually got excited because I was like, okay, this is like super hype. This feels like an end game kind of moment here, and I remember I came out of the theater and I Googled up who Apocalypse was. Like, oh, the first mutant, this is so cool and everything. And I got excited for Apocalypse, but that factor did not happen with me for this. So.
Well, I think the other thing is too, though, because Days of Future, like, what would you say is your favorite X-Men movie? Like, I don't know if it's Days of Future Past, but you would probably say it's in your top 3, right? Top 1 or 2.
Oh yeah.
So I just feel like you watch that. So one, you get this cool tease of Apocalypse, but also it's an X-Men movie that you and many others loved, right? So you're on that hype. So you're like, oh, we just had a great movie and we're going into a next one, and that's where with Apocalypse, I think. Even with Dark Phoenix being announced, if it was better, you'd still be a bit more excited, right? Because you're like, oh, they're on a roll. Like, let's see where they go. But then when Apocalypse was like, I still like that movie, but it was nowhere near Days of Future Past level as far as getting me really excited for the future. That was the same thing of like, okay, here we go again. And then obviously we had like some director problems and whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah, and it goes without saying, it's pretty interesting that so far the only media that has gotten the Dark Phoenix saga right is the animated series.
Yeah, and it's crazy that has happened. But again, that happens in like what, season 2, right? So it's like they had a whole season with these characters.
I think it was almost like, if you take it from beginning to end, it's almost 10 episodes at that point from beginning to end.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say too. As far as like it's well structured. You have lots of time, right? So. And here we are. Jean Grey is going to meet her strange dad who survived. Did you know this, Chris? Because you said you've known some beats of the movie, but did you know one of the parents survived here?
No, I did not.
There you go. Big twist. Are you shocked?
Oh God, changed my whole opinion of the movie. Academy Award winning.
Yeah, Dad hasn't aged much in the whole 25 years Jean's been gone. Maybe 20, but still. But I can't say that. Because that's not a thing in these X-Men movies. Because Magneto, I'm not sure if you've known this, Taylor, but Magneto in this movie, played by Fassbender, is supposed to be like in his like 60s, but he looks
no.
He looks like Michael Fassbender.
He's barely out of his 30s in this movie.
Xavier's getting a lot of costume changes. He had that suit jacket, which was really nice. He's looking like Agent 47 right now with that turtleneck, and I like it. They're back in the suit. So, and Taylor, do you know? I think you probably know, like, the big death that happens in this movie, right? I think.
If I'm gonna guess, is it Magneto?
I'm not gonna say yes or no. You're just gonna watch along. That's
I
the
have
fun.
no
Okay,
idea.
that's good. That's good. Because I don't think you were on that episode when we covered the trailer. But yeah, so that's a good thing. There's still some things in this movie you don't know about. But yeah, so Jean Grey, she's meeting her dad who left her and told Charles just to take her, which is
No.
I don't want to be that person. I don't know. I have both my parents, but I just know if that was me and my personality, I don't think I'd be looking out for my parents. Like looking out for that parent that left me. But everyone's different, of course. But she literally just saw a vision of her dad being like, I don't want this girl. Like, take her. Like, it's not like Xavier stole Jean or anything from that. So, but just back in the family home here. Taylor, I feel like you'd be really excited if you found out I was going to say, I guess you'd be excited if you found out your kid had superpowers, but then if they also killed Madison, that might put a damper on it.
It would definitely be a little bit of a downer.
A little bit.
It's a downer, It's like, just called me a bad name. Oh,
I mean, obviously, it's not the child's fault. Well, I don't fully understand the beginning. So, like, they wanted to listen to the radio, and they couldn't listen to the station that they wanted, and she accidentally killed the mom.
No, I think it was her powers were starting to go off at that point. It was just changing the radio, and that confused. Yeah, no, she got really mad. They changed the station, and she went, "No,
I want to listen to the Supremes."
Yeah, that would be with the Phoenix in her, but no, that was just like her powers were just coming to fruition, and they're like messing everything up, and that caused the accident, which caused the and same thing. If anyone was watching this the first time, the mom's dead, the dad is alive, so the mom didn't make it.
Maybe we should sit down.
But,
I don't want to sit down. Why did
Jean
you
is
come
finding
over
out
here?
about this information, and she's
Don't turn
not
the
too
light. Read
pleased.
your mind.
Who would be?
Yeah.
The same thing like with everyone that reacts. It comes back of saying, "Hey, wait a minute, you didn't trust me with my memories."
Yeah. Oh, this is okay. So I guess that I was wrong there because this is my only third time seeing it. That she gets that vision after she gets home. So
The dad, is he
Not the
injured
top-tier
from the
actor?
crash? Well, no, he's like.
I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, maybe he has like a limp or a severed nerve or something like that.
Okay.
I think
figured
they don't
he's
specifically say that in this movie. That's just me coming to conclusions. So, or maybe
Okay.
he's scared. Maybe he's like approaching her slowly because he doesn't want to.
If that body language that we're getting is him being scared, like on a scale of 1 to 10, he's like 100. Like he's terrified.
Well, look at what happened. She can read minds. Last time he saw this girl, killed his wife. Mother
Yeah,
of his child.
he's having a rough time for sure.
Yeah, well, he's not like you, who is just like would be a little bit upset if they lost their.
Well, that was like I wasn't like a full exaggeration.
It's not me. Uh-oh.
Hey! That's a no parking zone. The flight parking is on the other end of the neighborhood. Darn,
Oh, man.
X-Men always screwing it up. They're gonna get such a parking ticket for this.
Travis Hines joined the YouTube chat saying this movie's god awful. It's see. So this is what I would say is like I don't think it's god awful, but that's where opinion comes in, right? Because me and him disagree all the time. He may put this as a top 10 worst comic movies, where I put like Suicide Squad in there. It all comes down to it's all subjective. For me, like I liked the first 25 minutes. I liked the setup of Xavier with the president and working with people. I liked the space mission. I liked them going to the party and doing like young people things. This is definitely where it starts to take a turn, I think. But I don't mind the opening. I was quite liking it, to be honest. And I like the flashback with Xavier and Jean setting that up. It feels rushed, of course, but I like some of the dialogue there. So
Yeah, this seems very rushed for just being 40 minutes in.
yeah, that's definitely where we turn upside down.
Again, I mean, so far, yeah. Is it meeting the expectations I originally had for it? Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's definitely the quote unquote going on probably my lowest point for my X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm. For all, well, I was gonna say, because I got Origins at the tippy below. That's the no end in sight. Like that movie, I think I would put in the top 10 worst, because there's just so much garbage in that movie. Like we're literally gonna see where Wolverine box as the Blob.
Oh, they destroyed Deadpool, and we rectified that.
So here's another thing that I couldn't stand as well. So we get another cool Quicksilver scene going on here, but the newest sort of writers and whatnot, whether it's this movie and the last movie, they just really have no idea what to do with Quicksilver. Because if you look at Quicksilver's screen time, which look at this, throw him to the side.
Literally.
They literally throw him to the side. You know, I'll let the scene play out first. And I'll go with Quicksilver because we get more Quicksilver in a second. But I'm very upset with how Quicksilver was handled after Days of Future Past. And
Why did the cops show up again? Like, who called the cops? There was
I think
no
the dad probably, because he
Oh.
probably said, "There's this crazy woman here. That's my daughter."
He thought that was a good idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So is that
True
it for
story.
Quicksilver? Oh, sorry.
You'll get an answer on Quicksilver. There'll be more. So Mystique is trying to talk her down. Makeup is, I'll give them that. Makeup is not good in this for Mystique. Very, very lazy.
If you want, yeah.
I'm not afraid. Look at me. Focus on my voice.
And I guess Mystique is, the pseudo like leader here. So that's why she's trying to talk Jean down here. She's trying her best.
Whoops.
You're my family.
And there goes Mystique.
Oh, there we go. Darn you, director, for ruining it.
Oh, that's the death?
Yep.
Yeah. Happened to fall just in those spikes, perfectly placed, like they were placed by Wile E. Coyote, I feel like Beast took a long time. Oh, right. I guess they're all frozen. I was gonna say it took a long time to react there, but
He was just expecting it because the director spoiled it.
Yeah, no, he fully admitted, like in an interview, it was like, dude, what the heck?
well, I
That's
think
horrible.
he said. Well, I always wonder because he said it was to. I think they backtracked and said, "Oh, it was to know it was her last hurrah and to get people excited."
Oh,
I don't
give me a break.
Yeah, I'm not going to get on that bandwagon. I honestly think the real story is, so if you remember, this movie was supposed to come out in like February or something.
Yeah.
And then the trailer came out, and then literally 2 days later got delayed to summer. The trailer still had like this February. I think, because this happens a lot with movies where people will see movies or do interviews. I think they did press all thinking the movie would be coming out in February, and then that press like merchandise was supposed to come out. They could have stopped it, but I think then they're like, well, no, it's fine. Like we could spin this, like we could make it like it's like, oh, this is part of her journey. This is like to be more excited. But yeah, that to me takes out any, because I am, Taylor knows this. I'm a massive hater of prequels. So this is already prequel in a sense, but we don't know. But that's the thing where it's weird, right? Because like I just talked about, like, is it a prequel or is it not?
It is well, I mean, again, if it's, I mean, they kind of established it would be with Days of Future Past.
But then
In
Mystique
a
just died,
sense,
right?
it is. What's that?
But then Mystique just died. So if you think about that, if it's a prequel to that OG X-Men trilogy, she's alive in those movies, right?
Well, like I said, in a sense, it's supposed to be if we're going to go for the end game divergent timelines, in a sense,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be. It's not a direct, but in a sense, it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's alive in the original movies, but I mean, this timeline is different, is it not? Like, it completely changed and broke off to a different path. So that's why, like, she's dead here. But like, if you look at Days of Future Past, when Wolverine woke up and he went downstairs and talked to Xavier, I mean, we didn't see Mystique there, so I'm assuming that's because Mystique was probably dead at that timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so like either way, and like so this one's maybe not, but just prequels in general. But that's why, yeah, when the director says that, it's just that entire scene is all the tension, which is they're trying to make it a tension-filled scene. It's completely gone. It's what's about to go down.
Everyone's waiting for that moment. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Even though when I did see it in theaters, I think there were some young people that don't fall. And that's why I always say there's mainstream people out there because they had no idea. There was like these 4 girls together. They were younger. I think they're probably in middle school or whatnot, but they all like gasped when it happened. So that's why it's like we probably, are up to date on that. But I do bet a lot because they didn't show any of the previews. I do bet a lot of the mainstream people that saw it didn't know that was coming. But as the hardcore fans, it's still like, why do you got to share that to us, So. We're back at the X Mansion. Everyone's very depressed. Scott is trying his best to to reason with
be
10-year-olds
brooding.
and tell them that Jean's not a monster.
At least they got that characterization down.
Mm-hmm.
That was not Gene.
She was a great casting for Storm.
Yeah.
See, again, that's where I wish that Disney's Marvel had the X-Men prior, because then they could have casted her as Storm and then had her, because Storm and Black Panther, T'Challa, they're supposed to be married, right?
They do get
At
married
one
at some
point they do.
points,
They're
yeah.
divorced now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay.
But
Yeah,
I think
you know.
I think they will get married in the MC one day. I really do.
Yeah, this is totally gonna go well.
Yeah. Pulling up with some drinks. Beast is already not looking great, but
This is before he found out he wasn't gonna be Batman.
yeah, it was. Well, it's funny because when this movie came out, like it was like a week or two when they officially casted Pattinson. So anytime when he was on screen, I kept thinking about like how Holt was almost for Batman. And I agree with everybody, right? As far as an actor, after Heath Ledger, I got off that bandwagon. And Heath Ledger, I don't even think that was my biggest one of saying no, but I was like, yeah, I was one of those people that I don't think he could do it. But then he proves the world wrong, and now I have that take of like anybody can do it. But I love Pattinson, so you could maybe say I'm biased, but I just didn't see Holt as Batman. Again, he's a great actor, so maybe he could have done it. So that's why if he would have got cast, I would have went, okay, I'm supporting it. Let's see what he does. But I was always rooting for Pattinson or someone not Holt because I just didn't see it. But we're getting there goes the bottle. And Nicholas Hoult is a really good actor, but just not my Batman, I guess. I think that's the question I hate almost the most that they keep asking all these former X-Men people and cast members are like, oh, do you want to play X-Men in the MCU? And then they're all like, yeah, sure, it'd be great. It's like, one, they're not going to say no, but it's just like, stop asking them. Like, you know how this works, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be it's a whole new game. They want it's Feige's going to want to put his stamp on it, and that's fine. Again, we have not seen I don't think there's been any casting I've been disappointed with from the MCU in the sense of they haven't, sold me on their part eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think not that I didn't think he'd do a good job, but I think the only one that right off, like I liked him, so I was fine with it, but it was when they announced Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. I think that was the only one where it's like, okay, this is like a little different. Like this is not exactly what I was expecting for Ant-Man, and obviously it is a bit more comedic, so that's why. But I remember I wasn't against it, but I was like, okay, this is not what I was expecting. But most castings I'm either really on board with, or like you said, they do sell me. Like Chris Evans, same thing. I was like, okay, that's a fine choice. There's other actors out there that I preferred as that choice, but then once I saw him, I was like, okay, we're good to go here. So
can't argue with America's ass.
No, you can't do that. This dad's still just looking shell-shocked over here. He's had a rough 20 years. He's had a rough 2
decades. He'll be
decades.
cast as Eddie Brock's dad. He looks like a spitting image of it.
Of Tom Hardy?
No, I was talking, in the comics, like his
Okay.
dad's a
Okay.
sniveling
Yeah.
little worm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better be sorry.
I'm sorry.
So what are we calling these creatures right now that Chastain is trying to portray?
They have a name. Maybe I can do a quick Google search. I can't remember. They do have a name, and I think they were based off some like species or something that were in X-Men. But let's see, Dark Phoenix, aliens. Let's see what comes up here.
Oh, first hit. This sucks. No.
Yeah. The Dabari, that's what they were. The Dabari.
Okay, I did see. I do
Yeah.
remember seeing that in closed captioning. So
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Gray. I need to know.
That is
everything about
ash blonde hair she has going on right now. And it's also just it's a strange choice to get Chastain in this role where, minor spoilers, she just doesn't have much to do. She just kind of has this personality. That does not look good though. That chest maneuver.
Yeah, it looks like it hurts.
Hurts, don't it?
Ooh, it's gonna sting.
Oh, all right. Well.
You want forgiveness? Take up religion.
Well, this is our substitute for Genosha.
Yeah. Genosa Light. It's like the 50% less sugar Genosa. Like that's what it is. It's
that's being very generous right
Yeah.
now.
So I feel like this is a place where my sister would be found. What is this?
There's an island in the comics called Genosha that it was supposed to be a mutant haven.
Oh,
It was a whole cityscape, and I think that's what they're trying to go for here because it was an island, and Magneto is kind of the leader of it.
I saw like a Minotaur there. Everyone else looks kind of human.
Minotaur. And then, first of all, because also we're listening to this with a closed caption, a bit quieter, it might be hard to hear for you guys in the first watch, but Hans Zimmer does a score for this movie, and lots of Magneto stuff is fantastic. The Hans Zimmer score of this movie I actually listened to quite a bit. That's probably my favorite part of this movie. It is a really cool, like sci-fi dark score. That's one thing that did always frustrate me, that the X-Men changed composers so much throughout the series. We got that great one in First Class with that Magneto theme that I think they should always stuck with, but then we got it changed up in Dark Days of Future Past, and I can't remember Apocalypse off the top of my head which one that was, but then Hans Zimmer came for this, so Magneto's always rocking like 3 or 8 different theme songs, but I wish they stuck with that original one.
And you said he is in his 60s?
Well, yeah, because if you think, because this is taking place in the 90s, right? That's what the idea is. I'm pretty
92.
sure. Yeah. And so because he was the originals was, what was it, the 60s, right?
Cuban Missile Crisis, 62, 63.
Yeah, and he was about like he wasn't.
Well, remember
20.
he was a kid in the Holocaust, and he looked, I think, probably around elementary school age.
Yeah,
upper years.
So he's probably somewhere like late 20s, 30s in X-Men First Class. So yeah, he's supposed to be in his 60s minimum.
I want to look that good in my 60s.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
This was right when didn't Zimmer like retire from composing and then he came back for this, like a very quick retirement.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know why. I have no idea why he came back for this. He owed someone a favor, so.
No, it was a lot of money.
Oh, 100%. He needed a new boat, so they're like, yeah, come do Dark Phoenix, and I'm like, sure. It's like there's a quote about Jaws: The Revenge. Michael Caine says he's never seen the movie, but he's seen the house it bought him. So, you know, sometimes you just got to do it for the paycheck. But
hey, Ben Affleck did a movie for the paycheck, and it was called Paycheck.
Yep.
That title says it all.
Yeah, Two Faces in that movie. Aaron Eckhart. Michael C. Hall plays Dexter. Is in it for a split second. He plays a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Yeah. But yeah, big shout out to Michael Fassbender. This is where I really started to like him, and then Shame came around. Everyone knows how much I talk about Shame, but I just like.
Here you go again.
It always comes back to Shame, but like I've said before, we talked about this in the X-Men episode. If I could have one draft pick of one guy to come back and just, even if it's clean slate, ignore everything, just he's playing Magneto again, this would be the one.
Did you hurt someone?
Please,
Answer the question, June.
Stop, Eric. You're making me angry.
Good. I want you to be angry.
I
Show me
want
what
you to-
You
happened.
won't like me when I get very
What happened when you're
upset.
angry? Show me what
David Banner. Excuse me, Bruce Banner.
I feel like Magneto and Bruce Banner in a room together is a bad combo.
I think it's, I don't think it's controversial. I think Magneto could pretty much fight the floor with the Hulk.
But the Hulk has no metal on him.
Iron in the blood.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm not going that route, even though that's a lot of blood. I just feel like he could throw a lot of the Hulk, you know? Like, there's just tons. Like, he could, you know, pull up a building, whole helicopters, make a shield, and just push him back, you know?
I guess, but I don't know. I mean, the Hulk went through so many buildings against like the Hulkbuster suit. I mean, I feel like the Hulkbuster
Hulkbuster's
suit's
no Magneto now. Come on, let's.
True, but I feel like the Hulkbuster threw everything that Magneto. Well, unless you do like the Iron Man or the Wolverine treatment, where you have like the metal rebar go through and like pin him so he
to
can't
the
move.
Hulk.
To the Hulk, yeah.
That's what they should do in a comic. He should do that to the Hulk and then just use the Hulk as like a big weapon to toss around and everything like that. That'd be a great combo move. Chris, you didn't weigh in. Who wins in that fight, Magneto or the Hulk?
I'll go with Magneto.
The one thing is, though, with the Hulk, when he fights people like Thor or like Iron Man when he's in the suit, if Magneto just gets punched, it's really over for him because at his age, I don't know if you can take a punch from a
True.
superhuman, but then when you can take a punch from the Hulk, that could be that would be deadly. So he just has to get to him and it's over. It's not like Thor with like multiple hits or stuff like that. As long as he can get to him, it's over.
We're not here for you.
But there's got to be a lot of metal around
Therefore,
at that
girl,
unless we're in the
gave up
desert.
those rights when she attacked a squad of police officers. They have families too. Guess you didn't hear about that. I'll get the news out here, Captain.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't see what they do mention that the reason he got this island is because of he's I guess he helped save the world in Apocalypse, but if you were to trace back what he actually did in Apocalypse,
Yeah.
he was like
Yeah, he
partially the
saved the
cause.
world after he was brainwashed to destroy it.
he saved the world from himself, you know. So,
The Battle of the Wits.
I really like one of my favorite tracks, and it's on my Spotify playlist, is just Magneto's theme. I love it, and I like how there's like little hints of it here.
mhm. Magneto's looking Fassbender's looking
Oh, it's
jacked
not going to
this
end well.
Oh, Army Man almost getting decapitated with the helicopter.
See, I bet that to really get this like top tier acting out of Fassbender, they actually have a real helicopter this close to
Oh
him.
yeah,
Just to really get that real reaction out of him.
you've not seen the Twilight Zone movie, have you, my friend?
No.
Because people don't usually use real helicopters and stunts too much anymore.
Oh,
Nice little
Good recovery.
boost. At least
Oh,
they're out
right
of
to
there
the
now.
bikes too. Like, you know, I know Gene's not in her right mind, but what a jerk. There's some units there that have those bikes just to go around, you know, should just do some biking and shoot through Magneto right into them.
I need your help after I throw you into these bikes.
Well, I guess that's what the movie's trying to portray, that like she's going back. There she goes. She's going back and forth between, you know, the Phoenix kicks in and has a lot of anger problems, but then Jean's there and, you know, she needs somebody's help and, you know, wonder who she's going to get it from.
At least they can salvage parts now and get some new equipment.
Yep. Nah,
who
Magneto
could have
just
done those incidents? Oh, Jean Grey. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not creative.
This is the 5th outfit change for Charles now. Pretty impressive.
I feel like it'd be no different if you were Charles Xavier. You'd be changing
I
different
do
tank
now.
top every 10 minutes.
Like, I'm gonna see what the weather is like, but if it's not too hot for fandom, I was gonna have a costume change for every panel, because like to have shirts for the different panel that we're talking about, you know. So we'll see if I can pull it off. I got my Batflick shirt. I got my Harley Quinn tank top. I always got something Joker. I have like 8 million Joker shirts, so something happens there. I got
You actually have a
Justice-
shirt that says Batfleck on it?
No, but it's Batflick's. It's the Batflick Batman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just says Batflick. No, I love the shirt of him. It's the one that's the Gotham Demon one, and it's like his cow, but it's the skull and everything like that. I love that shirt so much. I got a Justice League tank top. I don't have a Wonder Woman shirt. I'm hoping that changes with 1984, because who knows? But Wonder Woman, the crappy thing was when that first movie came out, and I complain about this all the time, is that I was very happy women had lots of merchandise, because they usually don't get them with the men. It's the reverse. When it's a man-led comic book movie, you don't get many female merchandise. But for me, I was like, after that movie, I was so hyped. I was like, you know what? I don't own a Wonder Woman shirt. I got to buy a Wonder Woman shirt. And then when I wanted to, just no stores had them for males. Like, they were nothing, non-existent. So I did see DC Fandom has like a store running the whole time. So I'm hoping they got some good merch there, because I might have to partake. But then again, we're in Canada, so we're not going to get shipped to us anytime because the border. So I actually probably won't spend the money for something I won't get for possibly months and months from now.
Did you get that Harley Quinn Birds of Prey jacket you wanted?
Not yet. I think I might get it for our next charity stream. Emily's still not a fan of me spending near $100 on a Harley Quinn replica jacket of the kind of the caution tape one she has, but
It's a worthwhile investment.
that's what I tell her. That's what I tell her. But it's so I'm gonna do it, even if I have to do it in secret. I'm gonna do it, and then she'll just see me on the stream wearing it. But I love all of Harley Quinn's outfits. They're not, as a father of two, someone that works for Interior Health, not the most like things you could wear out in public, but that's why I'm waiting for the world to become Blade Runner, because I'm the person that will be wanting to wear those very elaborate outfits. Everything that Harley Quinn wore in the Birds of Prey was fantastic.
Because what's inside you?
So Taylor, did you see that little trick there? Because I wasn't sure if you caught it, where she was posing as the old man.
Oh yeah, I caught it. I was thinking that the old man was like someone important, like we getting like a new mutant here or something like that. Or...
No, it's just so she could have some drinks and whatnot.
Did you figure out the name of those aliens, by the way?
Dabari, we talked about that earlier.
Dabari. Oh, okay, I forgot.
Yeah,
that
DABY.
Don't worry, so did everyone in the audience by this point.
Yeah. DABRY, sorry. But yeah, so they didn't make them up. So
God,
so
whenever shit hits the fan, Xavier just really goes to the drinks, doesn't he?
he does.
At least in this universe.
In this universe, he has a big problem. I have heard rumors in the MCU it's going to be mess, so that's going to be an interesting take. But
oh boy.
Oh jeez.
No, they're not doing that. I don't know if anyone even has had much drug use in the MCU. I'd have to.
I don't think drugs exist in the MCU.
No, drugs and sex, those things. Unless you're a Guardians of the Galaxy and Tony Stark, couples just kiss. That's about it. There's no mention. There's no them waking up in bed together. It's very non-sexual universe.
It came pretty close in Thor a little bit.
He had his shirt off a lot, yeah, but they never woke up together, But he had, they cut out that Valkyrie scene, and then so I want to pose this question to you guys. So we have Beast. He comes up here, and first of all, great scene happening right now as I'm talking over. But that happens in a watch long. But he gets the news about. Neil gets the news about Raven and Mystique's dead. So obviously, Academy Award nominated actor. He should have won an Academy Award, but Jared Leto stole it from him. Another reason I'm not a Jared Leto fan.
Well, for which performance?
Dallas Buyers Club, over 12 years a slave. 12 years a slave, he is incredible in. I think Jared Leto is very good in Dallas Buyers Club, but I don't think he's incredible. But that movie just hit at the right time. So Jared Leto's always just, he ruined the Joker for me for a few years. He took my man's Oscar away. What is he going to do to my boy Morbius? I don't know. I hope 3 times the charm for me. But
he's
I like
sneaking his way into the MCU, Travis.
No,
but I like go into your house and just become living with you.
Oh yeah, he's gonna show up, and one day I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, my fiance left me for Jared Leto." Well, this seems about right.
Hey, at least you got a good story to go with it.
Yeah, that'll be a fantastic podcast. But my
the
wife
title is so my wife left me for Jared Leto.
Yeah. Wedding day, he's there at the end of the altar. Just
oof. He'll be wearing that Birds of Prey jacket too that you wanted.
Yeah. Nice jacket, Travis. No, I like 30 Seconds to Mars. I loved him in Blade Runner. I like a lot of Jared Leto things. It's just unfortunately there's a few things that I really do not like that kind of get amplified here. But okay, so back to the point where Beast went to Magneto and he told him about the bad news from Raven, and then he says he needs his help. So what they're setting up here is Beast obviously wants Magneto's help to track down Jean Grey. Do you guys buy that this Beast character, at least this one, do you think he would want to jump to killing Jean Grey? Because that was always my thing of, I get that he's bad, but I feel like he's been seasoned enough to know that there are accidents, there are things that can't be controlled. So for me, him jumping to I need your help to kill her was for me a bit much for this character.
I don't know. I think he's one to I'd buy him taking revenge.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Taylor?
I mean, I feel like if you're an X-Men, you kind of you come to that realization that, okay, you know, these things that happen, it's just, I feel like you kind of, you're like a force of attraction. You're drawing in these kind of things, and you should be like expecting of things. Not that your friends will die, but
you should expect your longtime girlfriend to get impaled by some spikes by your
well,
students. Yeah.
just, yeah, I mean, to expect that like unpredictable things are going to
Yeah.
happen. So I feel like to him to jump to the conclusion like, okay, I need to kill Jean Grey, I think that's out of character for him, because he's, I don't know, for the beats that I know from the other movies wouldn't do that.
But I guess he's at his lowest point, right? He's,
Yeah.
you know, so Legendary Beard Geek was in the YouTube chat. He just said sorry for this movie, Chris. You know,
It's not that bad. It's just not great. It's not. It again. I knew this was going to be on the lower end of my X-Men. So I mean, it has nothing more to prove except for moments.
We got
So
a nice
this
CGI
exposition
It's definitely
here,
not
what's
Howard
going
the
on?
Duck.
Yeah. What'd you say, Tara?
What is she like reiterating to Jean? Is she basically saying like you can reshape the earth and reborn it, kind of mumbo jumbo?
Yeah, that she's explaining what the Phoenix Force is, and they're explaining that I'm pretty sure. I think I just heard, or I missed some subtitles, that destroyed their planet, so they're trying to get it so they could take over other planets. Sort of that sort of, you know, generic plot of we could use this power to conquer worlds and blah blah blah. But it's in her, so they need her, right? They need Jean to control it because Jean can harness this power. So. I do like the strange bedfellows though here of Beast and Michael Fassbender, because I'm not gonna say everybody, but I've definitely been in the situation where you are talking to, you know, a former ex's, you know, your former exes, or maybe it's someone you dated and then that's broken up, and then in the future there's two exes together. You know, it's weird because you'll have nothing in common, and at times you could be like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? But you're still bonded by like one strange thing, which is a person. So I liked the, you know, kind of pairing here of these two have been through a lot with Raven and Mystique. Much different journeys, but they're both romantically linked to her at one point. So they're kind of,
Are they
you know,
romantically linked? I didn't get the sense that Magneto was.
She wanted him, like Raven wanted Eric.
Yeah.
I still think that happened because I think so. They kiss in first class, and then it jumps 10 years, and then in Days of Future Past, they never specifically say, but when Charles was asked her how she is, and he would just be like, she's incredible. And I don't mean like in that dirty sense. I just mean like, I just think he fell for her. I really do. I think they had a relationship as far as romantic. That's what I do think in the 10 years between First Pass and First oh my God, First Class and Days of Future Past, ladies and gentlemen, those X-Men films.
I really like this version. I like that version of Magneto's helmet. I mean, it's the same as it. No, it's just it looks a lot more sinister than the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. The original trilogy didn't have. I love the like that straight pair like dip that kind of goes between his nose and everything. The original trilogy had a design to it. But how did you feel on the First Class one at the end when they didn't ever go through with it, but he had like the Magneto like pings and prongs and whatnot? But obviously they didn't use that version.
It was okay for what it was.
Yeah. I hope we get that because I really like the antennas on the head. So I hope in the MCU we get those. I, as a big fan of that costume, I wish we got to see more of it. So I still like the body of the costume from Days of Future Past the best because it's that red kind of lower tier red, but it has like it's like plated and whatnot. So but I still wanted that helmet. So Legendary Bear Geek says it's better than Fantastic Four. I'll give it that. Yeah, I would give it Fan-Four-Stick. I would still put the original Fantastic Four over this movie because the original Fantastic Four I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's just the sequel may be a bad movie, but I think that the first one's just a decent movie. I think it suffered because you had Spider-Man that came out that was really good. You had X-Men that came out really good. So then Fantastic Four was next up. Obviously, Daredevil was a bit more mixed. I really liked Daredevil, but I think Fantastic Four was very mediocre, so it just didn't live up to the hype of those other ones. And Fan-Four-Stick, I will swear by the saying the first half of that movie is good and we were going somewhere, but then when it cuts and we get a year later and they do it all the reshoots when people's hairs are changing between scenes, it's not great.
Save the old friendship, Charles.
I feel like Xavier should have led with just taking out the other people first before Magneto, like, and leave Magneto because he has the helmet on, right? But everybody else take them out.
But that would escalate, right?
That's true. That's not Xavier's style, but he's in desperate times. He's drinking. He's on a bender again. You know, the president's not returning his phone call. When the president's not returning your phone call, you know you're in trouble.
I like how Magneto just rolls his eyes like, oh, this.
Oh, we
this
threw the
again.
F-bomb in there. We get one.
He threw the F on. Don't you fucking touch her. So a lot of people did not like that F-bomb when it happened. I didn't mind it. I just thought that he's in a desperate situation. He's still young, so he's emotional. I just thought it worked. But at the same time, like, that depends for everybody else, right? Because some people, they just like, I don't see my Scott Summers doing that. But I don't know. I thought it worked in that moment enough.
I saw that they're adding the Wolverine to Disney Plus in September.
Yeah.
So because there's a lot of
have
F-bombs
it.
in that.
We already have
it.
Yeah, in Canada we do. Check. Yeah, when you see the updates that Disney Plus tweets out, that's just for America. They don't give a crap about us. But no, I checked that there's still the Days of Future Past F-bomb, the First Class F-bomb, and I imagine the Wolverine one's there. I'm not sure if that's a Canadian thing or they're going to keep that in Disney Plus. I think I heard over when Days of Future Past got put on Disney Plus, there was like a fun controversy of like they kept Hugh Jackman's naked butt there, but I also think that they did keep the F-bomb in it. So I guess they're keeping them in, which surprises me.
I haven't watched it since it dropped on Disney Plus, so I knew the naked butt controversy. I didn't know the F-bomb might have been in there.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I hate this standoff that Xavier has with this woman because they're just both they're just paused in one spot, and it just feels like, hey, we don't have any more budget. What are we gonna do? Just both you stand there for a little bit.
Did Nightcrawler leave Xavier in the middle of the road in his wheelchair?
He asked him to.
Oh, okay. It's not an ideal location, I'd say, but
well, I think people's cars are like they're stopped, right? They're not driving, but
yeah, I guess so.
Here comes a massive flex coming up here from Magneto.
He always has at least one per X-Men movie.
100%. They should keep that going though with the MCU. Always one flex. That would be on his special ability card, like a Pokemon or something. Like it'd be like strength attributes and then like specialty, one flex. You know, every battle he could do something really cool that might not work out, but it's super cool.
You have the power.
The power. My favorite is those effects going through her face that they were saying not because of reshoots, that because the effects were so advanced that they needed more time to.
That's what they put the rest of the budget towards instead of everything else in a better story. Yeah, we'll put it towards that.
Oh, here comes the flex. Here comes the big old train.
I like that he's moving the train, but I hate that he's not using his power he learned from Apocalypse to control dirt itself, you know?
Well, no, that was amplified by Apocalypse. He lost that when Apocalypse died.
Well, did Storm lose her powers when Apocalypse died?
Yeah, hers was just like I think she was just stronger and got well, she didn't lose her white hair, so she kept that, but I know whose blood that was. I love that line because I feel like that's like you would see that in a comic book panel, you know. I liked that. And Fassbender he should do audiobooks. He really should. Just such a good voice. I like the set, you know, the chandelier going on. I like Magneto's outfit. True, it's not. He goes right for the kill shot too. He's about to just put that piece of metal right in her brain and game over. But
well, that's who he is. You know, in all these movies, he's just right for it. You know.
But see, this is what I did not like about this is I thought Apocalypse was finally that turning point where he wouldn't jump to that right away. And I know it's like, oh, Raven's dead and blah, 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 which I know I'm trying to, it sounds like I'm belittling it. But the thing is, like, I just feel like he knew already. Jean came to him and said, hey, like, I'm having lots of trouble controlling these powers. So again, I feel like he's a smart enough guy to know that, okay, she clearly didn't mean to kill Jean. It might even be the whole, oh, we got to kill her because she's so powerful. But that's what I hated about this.
I'm sure that cop never mean to kill his wife and daughter.
Well, yeah, but I just feel that this Magneto I would have preferred I don't want to take her out. I want to try to fix this because I feel like we got that resolution Apocalypse and Taylor, you don't read them, but right now in comic books, Magneto's on the kind of good guy side right now, and I always like that when Magneto's on the X-Men and there's always that time where you don't know if you could fully trust. And to me, that would have been great for this mission of going in, and maybe he's struggling with, I want to kill her, but I'm not going to. But then the rest of the team would be thinking like, I don't know if we should bring Eric or not. Like he's a wild card, but no, he just goes to the old school. Like, nah, I'm gonna decapitate her.
Mm.
So we're at the point where Xavier is confronting Jean Grey now. Jean Grey just
poor
took out
Nightcrawler.
Jean Grey
He's
just
had
took out
both people in
Magneto.
his heads, and now he gets kicked away.
She just took out Magneto with a bunch of metal shards, so he's gone.
And where's Quicksilver? Why isn't he fighting?
His legs were broken.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't figure his legs were broken. I thought maybe he got like a concussion or something.
No,
from that.
Off screen, he owed $100 to a bookie, so that's one of the deleted scenes that explains it.
Yeah, that was what I said earlier. I just hate how they use Quicksilver. It's like they clearly had no idea how to use him, so we'll just break his leg and it's done. Same thing last movie. The whole movie, I'm gonna go. I want to tell him he's my dad. No, I'm not gonna. Why? I'm just not gonna. All right, sure. This is disturbing. Oh, the chair. But this is This was very dark to me in the theaters, seeing this happen.
This is really like cringy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Like I'm just gonna drop the F-bomb right there. Like it's very it's honestly hard for me to watch.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like it's very disturbing. So I'll give them that. Like I think it gets the message across, but
How do you tell like an actor to be like, okay, now pretend like you're paralyzed, but at the same time pretend you can walk as you're paralyzed? Like that's hard to act that out. Unless they put him on like a strings and had him just kind of.
They might have,
yeah. Make your legs jelly and just act like it.
Yeah, now walk. Yeah, but this is the man from Split, right? He does have a lot of talent. So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Split. Yes.
You're not a Glass fan, eh?
What's that?
You're not a Glass fan?
Got halfway through it, and then I was like, all right, I think I got the gist of it. I love Unbreakable, though. Unbreakable, yeah. Split was a nice little, oh, shoot, this is the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah, I love Unbreakable. I really like Split. And honestly, I love Glass. I even rewatched it because that's a very divisive movie. And I thought, maybe I won't like it much the second time. And yeah, I'm a big fan. But look at this. Like, Chris, this is like almost a tribute to not these flashbacks they're having, but she literally has him held up the same way he was held up in X3. Remember when Jean Grey destroyed? It's just like, what? Like, they're very similar beats. It's just, I don't know. It's just strange.
No. Wait a minute. Now he's starting to sound like Greg.
Yeah, well, I guess like it's tough for me. I would say X3 is better because I have some more moments in there I can gleam on to, and I think at least you get another Hugh Jackman as Wolverine performance. So, and this was the second go. They saw what they did wrong, and they could have went, let's not do that again. But nah, they did it.
So who would win? Would a Jean Grey Dark Phoenix win, or would Apocalypse win?
I feel like I gotta put my money on. I think I gotta put my money on Jean. I really do, but I think it's tough.
Yeah, it'd be a heck of a fight.
But Chris, you didn't give an answer though. He's doing the Switzerland route.
No, I agree with Jean just because of the abilities at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be a good fight. But someone could say, well, it's kind of like, if if we're talking about full Dark Phoenix, she's got full control. Yeah, there's no choice. I mean,
the Dark Phoenix.
She'll devour the world.
Yeah. Yeah, Taylor, I don't know if you probably haven't seen this, but in the newest run and fall for the Avengers coming up, the Phoenix's force is looking for an Avenger to gloss on to. So that's what the run is going to be about, of who does it choose.
Ghost Rider. Come on, Johnny Blaze.
I feel like that's a double negative, like, I don't know if that's possible to even happen, but
2 possessive forces on one host body.
Yeah. Poor Johnny Blaze. That has to be, talk about migraine, having those two in your head, the Rider and the Phoenix Force. Oof.
Actually, I would want to, if I could pick, I'd say, okay, Punisher is Cosmic Ghost Rider with the Phoenix Force.
Yes.
That would be the ultimate trio.
God, yes.
Sophie Turner.
Ghost Rider all day.
Sophie Turner just having a nap on Jessica Chastain here, but Yeah, I know. I haven't. They've teased some people, like they teased Namor and they teased Black Panther and whatnot. I would love to. That's kind of my pick. I would just love to see what T'Challa would be like / do with the Phoenix Force. You know, just because it's such a out there type of choice. Yes. Oh no.
You have to let go. Gene, let go.
Let go, Gene.
Let
go,
it
Gene.
go. Let it go.
Same company, you know. Chris, have you seen both Frozens?
How do I answer that? So many times. Remember, I have 3-year-old twins.
So that's what I thought it was worth asking. Do you have a preference of which Frozen you like better?
Not when I've seen it that many times on both. I know
Well-
my daughter does a really good job of singing them.
Mm-hmm.
I think she really she can do a good job of Let It Go, but she Into the Unknown, I think she does a much better job.
Yeah, my daughter's
At least my daughter, at least I feel my daughter, I think that's the one she'll gravitate towards. That was actually their very first movie we took them to the theater to see in January. And then February I saw Harley Quinn, and that's the last time I've been in a movie theater.
Yeah. So this was a meme around, but did you guys see the name? You may know this, Chris Evans, but do you see the name of that organization that just captured all those mutants?
Oh yeah, MCU.
Yeah, it's the MCU. The MCU has come to collect the Mutant Control Unit, but that's actually that's on their plates, Taylor. You'll see when they zoom in. It's
I've
the
never
MCU.
seen memes about that. Oh, that is the greatest thing ever. Coming to claim their property back.
Yeah.
This is subtle. They'll never see it.
Yeah.
How do you put that into a movie without stirring the pot? Like that's just.
I just don't think they cared.
No, there you go. You can see it. He's walking around with on the arm patch.
Oh
and everything.
yeah.
MCU.
Nightcrawler's thinking how he's gonna be Disney property now.
Not that guy, unfortunately. Taylor, do you have a lineup? Because me and Chris did this on Marvel Alliance a few weeks ago. Do you have if you had 5 people you could pick that you'd want to see in like the first lineup for X-Men? Do you have any that you'd want? So I feel like Nightcrawler's in that for you, right?
Yeah, I would go Nightcrawler, Cyclops. I do Storm. I would do Magneto, and who is the I said Quicksilver.
Dazzler.
Dazzler. Who is the chap in the
The
first?
chap. You're
first
not
class?
British. Get out of here.
Who was the guy that was like shooting X's from his chest or whatever?
Havoc.
Yeah, I like Havoc. He was cool too.
Cyclops'
His-
brother.
Yes. Get the dream duo in there.
Here's some legend. How about at one point Gambit was supposed to be the third Summers brother?
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah, that was that actually was a thing going to happen.
So
That's
it's not
crazy.
actually confirmed. It was just like
No,
a
well,
rumor?
that's
No.
in the comics. That
Yeah.
was a was
Considered
going to
storyline.
happen, and
Oh,
it didn't,
okay.
and it didn't transpire.
Okay.
I'm glad it did. And that just would have opened up some like avenues I wouldn't have liked to seen. So
Well, then you got that compared to Vulcan. You know,
Mhm.
that's who we got.
So Taylor, you didn't include Jean in the original lineup. Does she come in a sequel? Because usually Scott and Jean are pretty together. So that's why I was surprised she wasn't in your 5 there.
Yeah, I'd bring her in later. Like, she's an okay character, but I've never had any kind of like interest
You've
in her
only
storyline,
had
really.
the movie versions though. I think one day if we ever watch the animated stuff, which we plan on doing, you'll get a lot more appreciation for Jean Grey. The movies have never given that character justice that she deserves.
Yeah. Okay. Just side question here.
Yeah.
What are these things all over the freaking train?
The aliens.
Oh,
Dabari.
okay.
The little spider monkeys.
I thought they were monkeys for a second. They look like them. They're
Yeah,
literally-
Fly.
This scene ties directly into Crystal of the Skull or Crystal of the Crystal Skull. Shia LaBeouf's going to come in here for a second.
Ooh. Oh, good thing we put on a chicken.
So this is 20th Century Fox coming to reclaim their property.
Yeah, that's what this is showing. Not
This
yet.
is their shot against the MCU.
Yeah. But you gotta love in your scenario that they've painted themselves to be the villains of the story. Hey, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not worried, but I'm still some of that wishes the buyout didn't happen. At the end of the day, I know Fox and X-Men, sometimes people can meme on it and joke and talk about how bad some of these movies were, but at the end of the day, it gave me stuff like Days of Future Past, and it gave me even First Class, but to me, it gave me Logan, and that for me is something that like I will always be thankful that Fox and Marvel did sell the film rights for a while, because I don't think we'll ever get a Logan-esque film in the MCU, at least for quite a while. And that film with Hugh Jackman is just, it's so special to me, and I watch so much, and to me it's my favorite Marvel movie of all time. So that's why, you know what, yeah, they were batting 50, you know, they, for every great film they had a stinker, but those great films sure were really great. You know, like even Days of Future Past, that's a fantastic X-Men movie. You know, yeah, it changes a lot from the comic books, but they adapted it really well. Yeah, sure, we had something like this, that's not the greatest, but
I like the just these funny like equivalents or parallels, I guess you could say, just for like the MCU guys are like, we're gonna do this on our own, and then you have the 20th Century Fox guys like, we can help you, and just like, you know, let us join you, we can do it. And MCU's like, no.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, except the one guy, that's Kevin Feige right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get Ruffalo and the Hulkbusters. Oh, you guys are so screwed now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm starting to do, and I know this is a Marvel show. I finally got the full collection now. Finishing Tom King's run of Batman. I'm rereading The Wedding, and I've finally got the rest of the collections up through City of Bane.
You enjoying them?
Well, you know, it's one of those things where I got to The Wedding and I read that, and then there was so much hatred after The Wedding. I said, all right, I'm going to collect it because I'm a Batman fan. But I heard it. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I said I wanted to read the rest of his run, because The Wedding was supposed to be that moment, and then the plan fully taking form. So I'll let you know in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I was. So Taylor, if you don't know about this, Tom King, we'll talk about him probably in the future, because he wrote this really popular run on Vision. Magneto just doing some really cool stuff here in the movie, by the way. But just like
God, this is so cool.
Best
part of the movie right now.
Whoops. Wow, that was so anticlimactic.
I know. Like, imagine if you're that actress and your family, you're sitting with your family, and she has really no lines, and that's her death. Is she just gets pulled by her head. And that's it. But no, Taylor, in DC, there's a guy that wrote a very popular Vision run that maybe WandaVision might be based on a little bit. And
so good.
He was, it's fantastic. And that's why I was really excited, but he's writing Batman. And the main thing was that Batman and Catwoman were going to get married. But of course, in the issue, spoilers if you don't want to know for anybody, that of course something happens and the wedding doesn't go down. And people kind of felt it was maybe just like a, I won't say publicity stunt that feels a bit cheaper. And I don't think it was that, but I do think it was maybe handled a little poorly. That's one I did read, because I usually do read the Batman mainline, or usually I'll wait like 3 to 4 weeks and buy a bunch of the digital and read them, because I love Batman. And Batman and Catwoman hits at my heartstrings every time. So when I heard they were getting married, because I was spoiled on that, I didn't read that, but that first one of those images that came with them together, I'm like, well, I'm going to read all these now. And I love that relationship. It's my favorite fictional relationship. So yeah, I was quite disappointed with the stuff that he did on Vision and then this, but Nightcrawler is just murky. I
love seeing Nightcrawler finally go like, we're going full killer.
All of Magneto's friends just get the lamest death. The hair guy, I can't remember his name. The hair guy, he literally just got football tackled off the train, and that's it for him. It's over.
It's just we'll call him Discount Medusa.
100%. Like, it's just one of those, and I don't even know, because I still have not looked into, do you know who that mutant is? And I feel like when it happened, I know it's based, I think it's one of those like hybrid mutants where it's like, well, it's based off these two put together, like, because they did that a lot in that original X-Men trilogy. They took so many mutants, like, look at Magneto go here, like, same thing. That's why this movie to me is like moments like this, like, man.
I want to hear you'll have to read the chat, but this is probably my favorite part of the movie right now.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
look at that. Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Just a bad, like it's so good. Oh, he's still raw. He should have punched him with. He should have kept that middle thing on his hand, though. You know, like use it like Mega Man. But
I think I'm gonna rewatch this scene on YouTube again after. This is really good.
I have watched it. Yeah, it's like they just give him. That's one thing I've always liked. They've always given, like we talk about the flexes, but some great action. And yeah, Magneto, these just so cool. And I'm gonna miss these moments with Fassbender because even in his facials, he just sells it so good. You know.
It's like I'm done playing with you.
Yeah, it just tosses it to the back.
If I had to pick a power, like one superpower, controlling metal's not half bad.
No, it's really, I've thought about that many times because for a while I was always picking the Wolverine route, but then it's like, I don't know, that could be risky. But like metal's the way it might be the way to go. I've always, whoa, big dive. I usually go telekinesis route because my idea is you could move anything, but then, you're going to have a lot of people in your head. So that could be unfortunate. Oh, here
So
comes,
is this where we get like the portals open up and everyone's gonna come in and
on your left.
You know what happens to a toad and when it gets struck by lightning?
The same thing that happens to everything else. Boom, and there goes Storm.
God, I remember even hearing that movie and I was like, I turned to my dad at that point and said, is that supposed to be funny?
That's what they were hoping.
How many bloody aliens are on this train? I thought they
A lot.
killed them all already.
Like
that
the
was
children
one
of the corn.
That was one of my complaints in this ending set piece, that like sometimes they get shot by guns and it kills them right away, and then other times they just like walk right through it. So I feel like the rules were not really laid out. Some people point like, of course, yeah, sometimes it's like the helicopter turret bolts, but like, oh, here we go. Magneto staring down Jessica Chastain.
That's what people say who are afraid of what the fight's gonna be like say.
I get that a lot.
No, she's like, I have no desire to fight you.
Oh yeah, that's 100%. That's what you're gonna be
scared
saying.
to fight him.
Is that
That's
what one of you going to say to each other when your
That's
fight
what he's gonna be
happens?
saying
Oh,
September
yeah.
12th. Yeah, he's gonna try to back out the last day. He's been delaying signing the contract. I know. Oh, look at that. Just
Oh, thank you. I needed that itch scratched.
that's a lot of bullets.
God, it's like being in a game of Warzone and flying the helicopter and you land and
The roofs.
the roofs.
Oh, hello.
And this is one thing I've always liked is we didn't talk about it a bit. I pointed this out in the review and I did it. Is I always like my Charles Xavier being a little dickish too. Like I like him kind of like I like
like
that.
him being
Well,
a
he's
drunk?
definitely that in Hawksbox. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, yeah, I like both versions. I love when he is the fatherly guy, but I think that should come in at times. And I kind of hope that with MCU because I feel like Patrick Stewart at times did have that. I feel for moments had that dickish approach, but he was more the, he's a father to everyone. He's a adopter. He's caring for everyone. He's going to give you the best advice. But I liked at the beginning when he was just like, no, we got to do this because, it's us working with the White House is better than dead mutant kids on the street. And he's being a jerk about it, but he's also kind of right. So I hope in the MCU, we maybe take that more slant of him being a bit more on the asshole side.
Well, he got that way post Fatal Attractions, just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of what everything happened, and then he had Onslaught, and then he disappeared for a bit, and
Mhm.
now he's back to that point. But
Yeah.
even Avengers versus X-Men and Schism and all that kind of stuff, it was he had gone back to the fatherly route. But yeah, he's more often been that fatherly figure.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting take. I do like seeing that just because it gives Charles more of a backbone to stand up to people.
Mhm.
And I know that seems kind of interesting, but he can walk now, so I'm not trying to be that insensitive.
Yeah.
Seriously, she's like a cockroach.
Yeah, she's like Jason Voorhees. She got a lot of lives,
So Jean Grey looks like she's good now, but I thought she was always just bad when she got the Dark Phoenix power.
Well, I think they're trying to say that she's finding a way to control it right now.
Wow, that's rushed.
Well, because how the original Phoenix thing did go in the comics, and they do this great in the animation, that she gets the Phoenix Force, she is really strong. But at first, it's not like people are like maybe like a little worried, but like she's just more powerful, and she has like maybe she's just a bit more abrupt, and I don't know, a bit more serious. I'd feel as far as like, oh, this is she when she's the Phoenix, she's you don't want to mess with her. But then eventually she just turns into the Dark Phoenix. That's where it's like, oh, she might kill us. But originally, I think the X-Men were kind of like, oh, this is great. Like this could eventually work out, like we don't know the source, but if she can control it, she's like so powerful. But then when it's like, oh no, it's overtaking her. That's where honestly, I wish we got that in a movie. I hope in the MCU years from now, decades, when they do the Phoenix Force, that they do that where she gets it and it starts with her just being more powerful and then it gets worse and worse.
I want to see the Shi'ar Empire in the MCU.
Yeah.
That is
I
one
think
of the biggest things that's missing from this. Like this, that was a huge part of the saga. That was the ending part of it, and they were so important. They're so important to the X-Men.
I think you will, because with this, I think they felt that going too spacey, we couldn't do that. But the MCU, they're fine. Oh, she's just popping off, just evaporating people X3 style.
So who wins?
We're going Endgame on them.
This is Endgame. Jean Grey or Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet?
That's a tough one. I think I probably have to go. I don't know. It's tough because Thanos is just such a cocky prick sometimes. Sometimes he can just like make himself lose.
I'll take the Ray Porter view. Jean don't need a glove to be powerful.
Yeah, that's true. But you're saying if he has the gauntlet though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one, because you feel like almost with the gauntlet he could defeat almost anybody, right? But
yeah,
maybe Jean is just that quick enough to get him.
Okay, here's another one for you, Travis. Jean Grey or Batman?
Well, Batman every time. He would know the Phoenix Force even before it entered Jean Grey. Be like, oh yeah, I've looked into this thousands of hours ago. I know all about the Phoenix Force. I beat it while training with the League of Shadows. People talk about trying to contain the Phoenix Force. No, it couldn't contain me. That's what I am. I'm Batman, There is a funny meme that's going around a few weeks ago. It was like Batman with preparation, and it was a picture, and it just was like every single thing in comics. It was like Gauntlet, the Green Lantern ring, like Kryptonite, like just everything you could imagine. We're getting a nice CGI fireworks show going on for his Scott's fingers are getting hurt.
I've got a boo-boo.
That looks so painful.
Jessica the voice they made Chastain do is a little
Luke, I am. Oh, wrong movie.
Yeah, not great. So yeah, right now we're at this final battle here. Chastain is threatening to kill all the X-Men, aka her friends. And it looks like Jean Grey may be able to make one more move. It's I doubt any of our DC brethren from the GUA are listening, but look, it shows that a hero can just fly a villain up into space and not have to kill them.
Oh,
that was just a joke. That was just a joke. I had to do
that's
it. It was
bait,
right
not
there.
taking it.
She didn't snap Jessica Chastain's neck, that. So Chris, don't tell them anything. This is a test to see if any of them listen this far. The same way we did to Brent on DCA. See if me bugging them about Man of Steel in the next snap, if I get any tweets tomorrow, 6 a.m. my time. Here are the 10 reasons why he snapped the neck.
I'll take the Zack Snyder thing. Oh, totally fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Alive.
Zod's still alive.
Totally alive.
The thing that was most look, it's the shape of a phoenix. The thing that was almost most impressive in this battle is both Xavier and Magneto's overcoats both stayed on. Pretty good.
Oh, they have to. They gotta look good.
Yeah.
The secret is staples.
Do you mean for the costume designers, or that's what the characters are doing to themselves? Like
Well, I didn't think about it like that way. I was going with like the costumers that stapled
Yeah.
it right into their bodies, saying, "Oh, you made me be on this cruddy movie." Ugh.
Magneto, why do you always carry staples around? Oh, it's to keep me looking really good. My clothes, they're all pinned together. Like, why do you think my cape is always a little off to the side? That's all staples, my friends.
That's my secret.
Whatever this area is, they completely destroyed it. You know? You got Cyclops.
Raindrops are falling on my head.
It's a great montage. What do you think it says,
Rebuilding the
guys?
mansion.
What do you think it says?
The James Howlett Institute for Higher Learning. Oh no, sorry, wrong one. Oh darn. Hey, I was close. That's what Wolverine did call his school when they had the schism.
Yep. How do you feel that they would call it that? Because I know she was taken over, but like I feel like naming it after Raven would be a bit more.
I think that's more fitting because everyone just
Yeah.
sees Jean Grey as a murderer. So
I know. It's
And
like, really,
especially-
Gene had that much of an impact? I don't know. I agree. Raven, like, oh, come on.
Yeah, especially in this franchise. She's the
Hey, he
leader.
can walk.
Oh yeah, he's back. There you go. His legs are healed.
wow,
Taylor.
that's so stupid. And we never get to see him talk to Magneto about fatherhood, which again is so stupid.
And the fact is, we may never ever get that if they don't do any changing of timelines in the MCU, and they don't bring Evan Peter back as Quicksilver, or they bring him back alive, and they bring Magneto in. We will never get that Quicksilver Magneto relationship as father and son. And it's just, I just don't get as Fox X-Men when you're making this, you have something that, hey, we can do something the MCU can't do. You know what they can't do? They can't have Magneto appear and be their father, but we can do that with these two characters. We've set up Quicksilver. Let's start building this. Nah, we're not gonna do that.
Again, I like how Beast is principal, and they still went with the name Jean Grey School.
Yep, just add in the injury.
The
The
man,
only
yeah, the woman that killed Raven. He has to see that every day.
Hello, old friend. And who didn't see this coming?
Got money in the suitcase, gonna slide it over to him.
For what? What is he sliding money for over
How
Taylor?
much is in that? What is it? $500?
Charles, I have
An unmarked
$23. I have $23.50. We could do a lot with this money. My favorite thing too is this was completely after Glass. So Xavier in this shirt is looking very pretty
Yeah,
muscly Xavier.
He does a lot of his like chin ups in the morning and everything.
Oh yeah. The Beast is ripped. But you know what? I know some people. So here's the thing. This is a fun little part here. He's holding out his fists. Just one game, he says, you know.
All right, I'll play you, my friend. That's not obvious. He gets the white pawn.
I'll go easy on you. So this is the thing that this movie definitely not the greatest, but if the X-Men as far as this continuity has to end, I do like that it ends on, yes, we've seen it before many times, but I like that it ends on Charles and Magneto, Eric playing chess together. You know, it's a callback. It's kind of fun.
Isn't that the same cafe where Michael Caine spots
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne and Anne Hathaway?
Yep. Oh, and look, the Phoenix is still out there, guys.
Oh.
Coming to the MCU and a
Yeah,
future near you.
they're like, okay, Feige, we set you up for a sequel. You can take the reins.
Yeah.
I was
that's
like,
exact-
yeah.
Oh man. So Taylor, what did you think? Obviously it's a different experience because like most times when we do watch songs, we've seen the movie before and then we rewatch it. But what do you think on just like the basis level of seeing that for the first time?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's definitely not like my most favorite X-Men movie, but I enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna actually give it a rewatch because it's been hard to actually listen to it with the over-the-ear headphones.
Oh yeah, it is tough at times. Yeah.
So, but I think they had a lot of very cool stuff and a lot of cool scenes, and when Magneto popped in, that was definitely like a highlight for me. All those like choreographed fight scenes and stuff were just top tier, and yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm a little peeved that they killed off Raven so quickly, but
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, again, it was bad, but it wasn't, the fight sequence on the train was definitely, I heard that was going to be the highlight. It was, Fassbender as Magneto still is top tier at that point. Yeah, kind of in my head, it's between that and Origins as the bottom of the low point of the franchise. But nothing can take the top movies of mine it's a tie between X2 and Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we did it. Like I said, this spawned off of just, Chris saying one simple thing. I never watched it. So we won't do this many times in the future because there's always news and whatnot, but it was a bit lighter. So I kind of had the idea of, before New Mutants, I'd like Chris to see this and this, as a podcast. And it's like, well, it gives him a reason to. So obviously this will be a long, long time away, but whenever the Fantastic Four comes to the MCU, I'm going to sit Chris down and we're going to watch Fantastic because Taylor, he hasn't seen Fantastic either. So one day in the further future, but one day we will do this again. So
there's probably a big reason why he hasn't seen that yet.
No,
I can think of 4 reasons why he hasn't seen it.
Oh,
he got you. He got you.
He did. You. I mean, it's there's so much bad parts of that movie. There's so much bad. But I like Kate. I like Kate Mara. I love
Michael B. Jordan's in it.
Michael B. Jordan. I think those are the two ones I was just like, oh, I'm excited to see them on the screen. And it's just like, why?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we won't be doing this off next week. We'll be back to news, whether it's my Chris herself, whether it's Chris or myself, or one of us and a guest, we'll be back. And as I said before, check out Phantom Happening. You can find me at Traspy Snail, all that stuff as usual. Just follow me this weekend because we'll be tweeting out lots of links for lots of good stuff. Taylor, where can they find you on the interwebs?
They can find me. I guess I've never done a shout out for my Twitter before.
We don't. That's a new. We never with the network we do. But Geekverse, we never do that because we're like, no one wants to follow us. Everyone hates us.
Well, I guess if people
our crowd's on Facebook.
If people find me interesting enough to follow, they can find me at Taylor the Field on Twitter.
There you go, Chris. You can end us off.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Chris Balga. You can follow the podcast at Marvel A Podcast. You can email the show at marvelalliancepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network at GUA Pod Network. Feel free to tweet, email if you want to provide feedback. Give us some questions, Fact or Fictions. We will be back next week with Fact or Fictions. We will be back with next week starting Hawkspox.
Yes.
And so that was the only thing I was like, I wanted to start it this week, but all right, I'll relent on that.
It fits though. The first week we start Hawksbox will be when the week of New Mutants release, so it's a nice little crescendo there. But I am very excited for that. I only read the first.
Yeah, for those of you that get to see it.
Yeah. Oh, Canada.
Yep. All right. But all right. You just say 10-2 first. All right. No. Anyways, so you can rate and review the podcast on Twitter and the network on Twitter. So please do that if you rate us with that 5-star review. And as always, thank you for listening. And as Stan the Man would always tell us, Excelsior, true believers.